So here's Mark Carney lying again. So Mark Carney says this. Of course, he's got the virtue signal.
While America engages in a war on woke, Canadians will continue to value inclusiveness.
And of course, by inclusiveness, he means that white men are out of luck, except for him and his friends. He's going to defend wokeness in Canada. So, of course, he's going to virtue signal. He is a radical progressive. Let's not forget that. Just because he's a central banker, that doesn't mean that he's not a radical a progressive, a radical leftist. So, charges laid after police say hijab-wearing woman was attacked in Ajax, Ontario library. Woman 25 accused of trying to light another woman's hijab on fire at a library Saturday. So we don't know anything about this. Who is this woman, right? But it's clear that this is the way that CBC likes to report stories like this, because it's part of their narrative that they're constantly pushing, that Canada's this awful, racist, bigoted place, right? And of course, Mark Carney's going to be all on board with that. This type of violence is not an isolated incident. Islamophobia is real. It is dangerous and it must stop. I offer my support and prayers. In fact, I should just read this like Mark Carney. I offer my support and I should say prayers to the you could say victim of the okay. So anyway, he's ringing it for all it's worth. But we have this post from Brian Lilly. Here's an important fact Mr. Carney isn't telling you. The woman arrested in this attack was out on bail for a machete attack in October. The woman is clearly not well and a danger to society, but under the Liberals, it is always bail, not jail. So, for one thing, it's the Liberals' fault that she's out in the first place. And also, doesn't appear to be any evidence that there was any Islamophobia here. But of course, cynical, morally repugnant people like Mark Carney will just jump on it. He sees the advantage there. He's going to jump on it, of course. Does it hurt the country? He doesn't give a shit. Canadians are just numbers on a spreadsheet to him. Central banker, technocrat, come on. So here is the article referenced by Brian Lilly from the Toronto Sun. This is from October 2nd, 2024. Woman targets man in Ajax machete attack. A woman has been accused of swinging a machete at a man in Ajax. This woman, Kaylee Ann Freyer, I think that's how it's pronounced, is charged with possessing a weapon dangerous to the public, so remember that name. And there is no mention of anything Islamophobic happening in this incident. Now let's take a look at this CBC article. Victim speaks out after woman allegedly tried to light her hijab on fire inside Ajax library. Says National Council of Canadian Muslims calling for hate crime investigation. And here is the description of the event. Durham Regional Police say a woman was studying at the Ajax Public Library at noon on Saturday when she was approached by an unknown woman yelling profanities at her and throwing objects at her head. Police say the 25-year-old suspect then tried to remove the woman's hijab while pouring an unknown liquid onto it. So they say yelling profanities, and she tried to light her hijab on fire. Now, anybody who's been living in, liberal Canada for the last 10 years is well acquainted with crazy people, usually on drugs, shouting profanities at just random people and generally being dangerous to themselves and others. And this is, of course, due to liberal criminal justice policies. Now, in this, they were saying the woman was yelling profanities, but was she saying anything specifically Islamophobic? And she tried to light the woman's hijab on fire, but it sounds like this woman is just completely insane and has no control over themselves. That doesn't mean it was Islamophobic. It just means she's probably a mentally ill drug addict who does crazy things. Now, of course, in this article, just everybody is making the assumption that this was an Islamophobic incident instead of just a crazy person doing crazy things, because that's what Canada is now. But interestingly, they don't actually say the name of the woman in this CBC article, even though they know what her name is. But we do know that it was the same woman. It's reported in this Toronto Sun article. Apparently, this Ajax attack suspect was also hit with a fail to comply with a probation order. And in this article, they're calling it a horrific hate attack. they don't know that. It just sounds like this is just another one of the crazy drug addicts in Canada that's always doing crazy things. But here we have the name. It's Kaylee Ann Freyer, 25 of Ajax. It's the same person. So there's no reason to jump to the assumption that this was a hate crime and not just yet another instance of a mentally ill person who's fallen through the cracks in Canada because of liberal policy, doing something terrible. Now, when this happened, this person had already been hit with a fail to comply with probation order. These are liberal policies. She shouldn't have been out in the first place. But that's a way worse angle for Mark Carney and for those who would seek to manipulate the public into collectively losing their minds and voting for a fourth liberal term. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.